About what happened in the minutes after a La Center Middle School student suffered a heart attack at school back in January. 14-year-old Cody Sherrill collapsed after basketball practice. He was rushed to a Portland hospital where he died 6 days later. Now, newly released 911 calls shed some light on the first aid Cody received. Our news partners at the Columbian obtained the recording, and K2's Lincoln Graves has details.
Yeah, we need somebody at La Center Middle School gym.
Assistant basketball coach Greg Hall called 911 right after Cody fell to the floor.
We got a student athlete who is on the court moaning on his back.
No one started CPR right away because it appeared Cody was breathing, at least a little bit.
Is he awake?
They're on their way here, guys. He's awake, but barely.
Is he breathing?
He's breathing, Mike? Very sporadically.
Emergency workers now say that could have been agonal respiration, a sign a person is dying. CPR started 4.5 minutes into the call. A device that may have helped shock Cody's heart back into rhythm, an automatic external defibrillator, was also not immediately used.
Okay, we got a defibrillator on scene. Do we want to use that yet?
Continue CPR.
Continue to CPR, you said, but yeah, let's get that thing ready to roll.
Clark County emergency leaders say it's protocol to do CPR before the defibrillator is used. When the dispatcher asked for it to be set up, there was apparent confusion about how to hook up the device's chest pads.
Okay, sir, the pads, is everything installed?
No, it's not.
Okay, someone's working on that?
Yeah, we're working. Hey, can somebody help me out with the pads, you guys?
And make sure someone's continuing CPR.
Yeah, we got CPR going on. We need to get the pads installed.
Okay, the engine's getting really close.
Paramedics walked in soon after that. Today I spoke to La Center school leaders and Clark County emergency officials. Everyone says this was a chaotic situation and all involved did the best they could.
All right. Movie. Sounds like Slingshot.
It's definitely a romantic comedy.
Wait, what is my wing? No, you're drinking.
Shirt Man. The Heart Attack sequel.
Going down.
All right.
Ever happened to you? Harmless game of charades based on film titles turning into a sudden cardiac event? Bam! Shaklacky! No? What? Think you're better than me? Well, it happens, all right? It's a real life situation! I got my daughters here. Call 911. Push hard and fast, okay? Focus! And yes, the beat of Staying Alive really works. Shama! Disco can save lives. Yes, disco. Huh? Check it out. What do you think? What? Dance party!
life has been fairly uneventful. I've been able to return to all of my previous activities and occupation, and I've had no residual effect from it, essentially. The first assumption was that I had suffered a typical heart attack, a blockage of coronary artery, so the first thing they did was do an angiogram where they found all my arteries were clear. Then they realized this had to be a conduction problem, and they brought in an electrocardiologist specialist, and he ascertained that in fact is what was going on. The biggest thing I learned is, number one, this can happen to anyone at any time. There's no ability to predict the type of heart failure that I had. Number two, it would really be beneficial to people if they could be in a work environment where their coworkers were trained in CPR intervention. And of course, the most important thing is hope that EMS services or fire department services is close enough to where they can immediately start resuscitation efforts, because time is brain cells. That's it. I was told by the cardiologist at the hospital that typically the survival rate for this type of spontaneous heart failure is about 3%. And that basically all revolves around the fact that intervention is not readily available. I was just happened to be at the right spot, at the right time, close proximity to ambulance services, paramedic services, and I was really, really lucky. Every year our family has traditionally gone to Canada to go salmon fishing the first 2 weeks of July. The heart failure that I suffered was in mid-June, and I was in the hospital for about 6 days. After I got out, the doctor advised me that I needed at least 2 weeks of home rest, and that I wasn't supposed to drive or travel or do anything. But I'd already planned this fishing trip. I'd actually already packed our equipment and loaded the boat on the trailer. So despite his advice, I decided to go, and we drove up to the far end of Vancouver Island and had a great fishing trip. It did make me aware of the fact that you can be taken away or pass away very, very quickly. And so you try not to want to have too much unfinished business and things like that, particularly with those people that are important to you. And in my case, I was lucky. My wife found me, and I had a good outcome.